Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another video on my channel. This is episode 1 of my Newcastle United career mode on FIFA 18. It is finally here. I did record some Newcastle United career mode stuff originally, but then I kind of, I didn't like it as much, so I kind of decided now that I'm a bit more kind of better, I guess, with the game, that I'm going to do the entire thing. I only did like the first transfer window and a couple of games after that, but I thought, oh, it hasn't worked to the way that I wanted it to, so I'm doing it in a different style to the way that I was doing it then. So now this is the career mode, so that's why it took a little bit for it to get out, and because I am lazy and I could not be... It's one of those things where I just can't get into editing the videos because they're just... It's not that it's hard, it's just it's a pain in the backside, but we are finally here with Newcastle United. I really like Newcastle, and recently, I think actually yesterday, they announced that Mike Ashley's going to be selling the club, so who knows, maybe I'll inject a few million... Oh, my dog, shut up. Maybe I'll inject a few million into the club via the financial takeover in the game to make it kind of somewhat realistic, but basically what I'm doing is going through everything, through the finances, through the objectives, through the squad hub as well, which is the kind of squad report. I will be doing one at the end of every month as well, or pretty much after every game at the end of the month, if that makes sense. So to see all the attributes of the players that we're going to sign in this episode and the next episode, and maybe one after that, depending on how long it takes to kind of get through the transfers and stuff like that, you will see all the stats on the squad report, because it's just easier to show it in chunk rather than show it in like individual stats. It's just easier. But as you can see here, I'm going through all the players. You've got a lot of dead wood, but a lot of like some good players, but I've noticed that there's not really much potential in the side. I think John Joe Shelby might have the highest potential. Actually, no, Adam Armstrong might have the highest potential out of every single player here. I think. I could be wrong, there might be someone else that's a bit above him, but there's not very many people with a lot of potential, which is why I wanted to get rid of the dead wood, the people who aren't going to grow or aren't going to grow as much, and get some other players in to replace them, and obviously replace them for the future as well. I do want to bring in some experience though. Like, I do want to bring in like an experienced goalkeeper and have a young up-and-coming goalkeeper that we can kind of grow ourselves. As you can see, like Paul Dummett and stuff like that, he's never going to grow. Jack Colback, I don't care about him, no one cares about him. Mo Diame, I don't know whether I'm actually going to keep him. I don't actually think we sell him this episode. We may sell him in the future episode, but we'll have to wait and see. As you can see here, I'm just setting up the kind of squad that I want to do, because in the previous Newcastle career mode iteration, I guess, that I was doing, I had a one-striker formation, and it did not work out. I could barely score, and I think that's mainly because I had Hosselu up front the entire time, but it's not my fault. He is just terrible goal scorer, so I needed 2 strikers. I feel like I need 2 strikers up front this season. Whether or not I actually bring in another striker is, like, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But our first signing that we want to try and bring in is Jose Reina, or Pepe Reina, or Jose Pepe Reina, or Reina, legend, awesome human being. I want to like bring him in because he is a realistic target with Newcastle. Rafa Benitez obviously wanted to kind of bring him in the summer. However, I think Napoli realised that he's actually a really good goalkeeper and they wanted to keep him, and that Newcastle barely have any money, so they're not going to give him anything. So I went in with like a £7 million transfer fee as well as a 5% sell-on clause, because I was like, well, if we're going to sell Pepe Reina, we're not going to sell him for that much anyway, so it doesn't matter if we have a sell-on clause. They wanted 9.8, which was a bit like over the valuation, and I was like, I'm not having that. I'm not having that, mate. So we went for a 7.5 offer, which I think it's fair to say was kind of sent back. Honestly, the way that the transfers work is such a pain in the arse, because every single time I put in an offer, like here I went for an 8.25, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know whether, yeah, just go straight to 9 million, and I was like, do I even try? And then I did obviously try, and I think again it gets rejected. Oh no, it does get accepted. Wow. Oh, I thought we actually got it for 9 million. So, well, it gets accepted. So we do actually get an offer for Pepe Reina accepted, but I feel like the negotiations are more one-sided negotiations in this game. But hey ho, it's a lot more realistic, I guess, and hopefully this iteration of FIFA 18 career, or this iteration of career mode, will be pretty decent compared to previous when it's been very poor. Obviously trying to get Pepe Reina on a bit lower wages in this. Obviously want a crucial first team player. I want him to be here for at least 2 years, which I think we do end up getting him on a 2-year deal rather than a 1-year deal. He wanted a 1-year deal. We wanted, well, I wanted a 3-year deal initially, but a 2-year deal is going to have to settle for. They wanted 63,000k a week, which is a lot compared to his current wage at Napoli, which is 52,000. So I was like a bit annoyed in that, so I was like, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to sort out like the wage and stuff like that. I'm just going to give him a bit under that, so hopefully they can like be a bit more understanding with the negotiations. And we go for 57,000k a week with a 20 clean sheet bonus, and they were like, no. Same offer again, why not? And I actually think that it's a bit glitched as well, because I think on occasion, I haven't like checked, but I think on occasion they actually increase their offer. It's really strange. Like, so say for example they want 62,000k a week with clean sheets 10 700. So say if I want 15 on 800, for example, and I want him on a 60k a week wage, they'll increase it to 62 and maybe a million on 10 games a week, which makes no sense why it sometimes does that. It's really weird. You got to keep your eye out for that. If there's any bit of information that I'm going to give you, any bit of advice, watch out for that bastard over there, sat next to the bloody player, the agent. But we do end up bringing in Pepe Reina on a 2-year deal. I was about to try and do some like sort of, I guess, graphic to show you the signing, but basically I couldn't be bothered, so I'm just going to leave it like that. So we brought in Pepe Reina. He is our new number 1 here at Newcastle. I was going to give him the number 25, however, Haidara has the number 25, and I wasn't entirely sure. I transfer listed Jonjo Shelvey because I don't really like him that much. I think he's pretty decent. He's a very well-rounded player, but that's it. He's not a master. He's not a very good defensive midfielder. He's not a very good attacking midfielder. He's got good long shots and a bit of a good short passing, but that's about it. As you can see, we do get another offer, or we got an offer for Adam Armstrong, which we rejected from Bolton because we brought him from Bolton, or back from Bolton, because I think that he could be really useful this season. Jose Perez, obviously we've rejected that offer, but I will obviously consider some offers for Jose Perez because you know, he's not exactly the best player at the club. He's definitely not the best player at the club. This is where I'm just trying to skip through loads of these kind of pre-season tournament games. We are looking to bring in, as I said before, a young goalkeeper as a kind of protege to Pepe Reina. We want a guy to come up above him once Pepe Reina drops off, because I think by the end of the season he'll probably be about an 80, 81 overall, maybe less, maybe more, who knows. But he'll probably be about an 80 is what I'd say. So we want someone to kind of slowly take over his spot by the end of the season. I want Joel Pereira to do it because he plays for Manchester United, and generally most career modes I do, I'm like a Liverpool player, or I'm like acting as like in the Liverpool fan. I don't want to sign anyone for Manchester United, so this is like the first proper like Manchester United signing that I've ever made in FIFA. I've never really made that many Manchester United signings before for like many other clubs. I don't think I have. I may have done, but like I really doubt it. And the same goes for Everton. I really do like some Everton players, and I would like to kind of bring in some Everton players for this Newcastle team because I think they would work really well. Leander Dendoncker, I want him as my main holding midfielder. That's why I wanted to sell Jonjo Shelvey, because he was like a holding midfielder, but he has really poor stats. Well, he has well-rounded stats overall, but his defensive stats are probably his weakest in terms of his midfield duties, I guess. So I want him to be our main central midfielder, our main holding midfielder. He can play centre-back as well, I believe. He can play in the centre mid a bit more attacking-wise, and he can also obviously be our holding midfielder, which is what I want. He has quite a bit of potential. I believe he's got 85 or 86 potential. High 80s potential, near enough. Or mid-80s potential, I guess. We do end up offering Paul Dummett, but I didn't really want to do that, and like you can see me here, like where the hell's the bloody add player thing gone? So it's really odd. Like when you add like say Paul Dummett, you can't add anyone else. You can only like add Paul Dummett. But like if I was, because I wanted to include Callback, I could only include that. But hey, but as you can see, they absolutely flat out reject the offer for Dendoncker, 10 million plus Dummett. You know what? I would be the same, mate. And by the way, he looks absolutely petrified. And another signing that we want to go for is a left winger, English left winger by the name of Nathan Redmond, who I actually do really like. I really do like Nathan Redmond. However, I don't think he would be like that good in most main Premier League teams in real life. But as for Newcastle, I think he'd do a fantastic job, like Andros Townsend did when he came in to Newcastle that once, like half a season. So Nathan Redmond is going to come in, hopefully, and hopefully we can get him on a relatively cheap deal. As you can see, I offer 11,500,000 underneath his valuation, and they go apeshit. They go absolutely batshit crazy. I don't understand how you can be 500,000 under the valuation and the person just goes, you know what? Ah, shit that, mate. Fuck off, dickhead. No one likes you. And basically, I was really annoyed in that because two players had just completely rejected, or two managers, I guess, completely rejected offers for their players. So I was like, right, well, let's get some good news in. Let's bring in Joel Pereira now, and let's get it done. Nathan Redmond is going to be, hopefully, our first choice left winger, hopefully, when we bring him in. Because I do want to bring in Nathan Redmond and Dendoncker, because those two, I think, have a lot more potential, a lot to give to Newcastle, because that is, again, what I said before, what we're missing at Newcastle is a lot of potential, a lot of great players who can grow into something even greater than they already are. And hopefully it's a sign of things to come if we can bring those two in and they do well at the club. I do really like Nathan Redmond, as I said, and I do want to bring him in as my first choice left winger because Rolando Aarons is clearly nowhere near good enough, right? At least right now. I don't know his potential. I think it's low 80s, maybe high 70s. So I think it's probably the best choice to bring in Nathan Redmond. I will be bringing in a lot of youth players. I really am considering bringing in a lot of youth players because they're a pain in the arse. It's a pain in the arse that we've got no good youth players at the club, so we really need to be bringing them in. As for like I'm trying to read it. Masadio? Okay, Haidara. We basically offered a very high offer for them, and Bolton's rep, I guess, completely just flat out rejected it, and I was like, I don't really care. Haidara will stay here. If he stays, he stays. If he leaves, he leaves. And as well, Jamie Sterry is a transfer that I missed before. We accepted an offer, but I think they rejected it, or he rejected his contract offer, which is annoying because that happens way too much in this game. As you can see, it was going back in for Leander Dendoncker and hopefully Nathan Redmond as well. As for the youth players I want to bring in, I'm not entirely sure who I want to bring in. I've got a couple of ideas, like Harry Winks, Tottenham youngster, looks fantastic. I think he actually made his England debut recently, like his first team England debut, so that could be, I guess, a bit more of a mainstream signing nowadays. As for another central midfielder, Tom Davies, a guy that plays for Everton, I do really like him. Unfortunately, like me saying that as a Liverpool fan is a bit annoying because he plays for Everton and not Liverpool, the bastard. I really do like Tom Davies, and I think that he would be a good signing for us. Like a squad depth, obviously can grow into that role. I actually don't think John Joe Shelvey gets a transfer offer from anyone. I think he gets a loan offer from like Celta Vigo or something like that, and it's just like, why? He's on the transfer list. Buy him fully, you annoying bastards. And what I was thinking was, well, what I'll do is if I can like offload some other players or another player in the same position, I'll have John Joe Shelvey there for the time being, and then I will try and move him on either in January or in the next summer, because frankly I just don't think he's that brilliant. As you see, we get an offer accepted for Leander Dendoncker. I just don't think that John Joe Shelvey is at that level for the positions that are listed for him, like a central attacking midfielder, central midfielder and a CDM. He's not very good defensively. He's got okay defensive stats, but they're not brilliant. And he's got okay dribbling and attacking stats, but again, they're not brilliant. That's the best way I would describe this Newcastle team. It's okay, but it's not brilliant. As you can see, it was going into the contract offers for Leander Dendoncker, obviously offering him a crucial first team squad role and 4-year contract. They say, yes, we would love that, absolutely delicious, get in my belly. Sure. By the way, does anyone else get put off by this wage thing? for some reason, like, I've stopped doing it now because I've kind of put it into my brain that I need to stop doing it. But like when I offer a certain amount of money, say for example I want to offer 40 million, like 40,000 a week, like I did there. I reject that offer for Chancellor Mbemba, by the way. So I go into there and I say I put 40, where like it would be 40 million for the transfer offer. Do you guys do that? Because I do that all the time, and I'm bound to do it in this career mode at one stage or another. So we'll have to wait and see for my many slip-ups, but it's just really annoying. But as you can see here, we're going for a... we've got 2 scouts here. I got Jamie Evans at the start of the season. I don't remember when I got Jason O'Grady. I think he just appeared there out of thin air. So Jason O'Grady, the ghost scout, we send him, I think, to Italy, I believe, if it would hurry up. Come on. Yeah, we send him to Italy. So we send him to Italy. We send the other guy to England, and we obviously get a scout future star, which will come back. Hopefully in the next episode we get a transfer offer here for Henry Saivet. Now, or Saivet, or however you pronounce it. He would be my first choice centre attacking midfielder. But if we could get rid of him, I would be okay, because we need the money. We have not that much money to work with to sign, for example, Nathan Redmond, or to sign some youth players. So we need to get that money in. He's one of the best ways. Crystal Palace came in with a fantastic offer, and we counted it. And they obviously, thought, all right, we won 900k less, and I was like, damn, alright. So let's see if we can try and like boost it back up a little bit. We offer 14.75 million, and they like, oh, we don't want this to fall through, so we'll go with it. And Roy Hodgson ends up signing Henry Saivet for us, and he will leave the club so we can go on and buy some other players. And Jose Perez, we got an offer of £11 million from Aston Villa, which for a guy that's 75 overall, I thought, that's a bargain. That's a bargain for us in terms of like the rating that he is. I would normally like I was a bit skeptical like about keeping him, and when they offered like 11 million, I was like, yeah, I'm 100% like taking that. I'm running for the hills. I don't care. I think he's got like 81 potential. I don't really care about that. Just get him out of the club and get us that money so we can sign Nathan Redmond, sign some youth players, sign some strikers to replace him that are young and promising and already probably are better than him or about to become better than him in the future. Nathan Redmond, obviously, we actually do get an offer like relatively negotiated this time, rather than just flat out rejected for getting 500 less than his evaluation, which is stupid. I think that they were desperately asking for like a sell-on fee. I don't know whether like they do, like Southampton are known for that, like in real life, because I don't think they are, because it seems like they have a lot of like players. Obviously, most of them gone to Liverpool, but let's just ignore that. But as you can see, they're like, oh, we've got to take some time to think about this. We'll see you later, mate. And I'm just like on the edge of my chair, like, no, don't go, no, don't do this. But as you can see, they reject it, and then they come back with £16 million and a 5% sell-on fee. So it's just like, well, I'm pretty sure that's near enough what I asked for. And anyway, so Nathan Redmond comes in, or we actually go onto the contract status, contract page. We offer him a contract. He wants important. He doesn't want crucial, which is fairly decent. That means we can have a bit of rotation between him and Rolando Aarons, or maybe some other players, depending on whether we bring them in. But he wants a really, really large wage, which is what I hate, because for some reason I see other like career mode YouTubers and other career modes and stuff like that, and like they're negotiating players who have less than their current wage, and I'm just like, what? I'm struggling to get him below 70. Like, what the hell's going on? And I don't know whether that's just because I'm like certain players I'm picking, but like it wouldn't happen with Reina, it wouldn't happen with him. I think Dendoncker was the only one that was a bit more lenient. I don't know whether it's certain agents, whether certain agents have certain things. Like this guy like is a lot more strict, or whether like other agents are a lot less strict, etc. But I think we end up getting this done. We do end up getting this done, but they obviously say, right, we need to think about this, we need to think this over, so we'll see you later. And then they come back, reject it, and they're like, right, this is what we offered anyway, have it. And we do accept it, and he becomes our fourth signing of the transfer window. As you can see there, we brought in Reina, Pereira, Dendoncker, and Nathan Redmond, and now we're looking to bring in some more youth, some more prospect in Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I nearly forgot his name. Another an Evertonian that I do really like, and I think has quite a bit of potential in him. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is a guy that I would like to bring in, and I've noticed that, again, I don't know whether it's glitched or whether it's just like, not polished, I guess. But they don't consider the price of prospects, I guess. Like, so say for example, if I offered 1.5 million for Calvert-Lewin, then they nearly accepted it. They offered, well, we got 1.6 for him, which is just mind-blowing, because like he has a bit more, he has like quite a lot of potential. I would have probably expected for us to go up to like 3 million there, maybe more, maybe just a bit less than that. Same for Thomas Olivier Amang, who is a very, very, very physical player in terms of, like, he's very pacey, and I offered 1 million, and they were like very stingy. Now we need 50k more. Need 50k more for bus fare home. So we were just like, I was just kind of going around like, what? What is this? So we end up offering Amang and Calvert-Lewin things, and I end up delegating, I guess, the contracts. I haven't done that yet, so I wasn't sure what to expect, whether we was just gonna like flat out reject all these offers. So I offered a starting price of 2,500 and don't go higher than that. Same for not same for Calvert-Lewin, because he has a really, really high wage, and I was like, right, well, I'm sick of this. So I didn't want to do like that much change in his wage. I didn't want to change that much in his wage because I knew how much of a pain in the ass he would probably end up being. But that is pretty much it for this episode, guys. So thank you guys very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe now for more, share the video as well, and I'll see you guys in the next video very soon for the Tottenham game, the first game of the the Premier League season, not the Barclays Premier League season, the Premier League season in the next episode. So thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.